What's going on, guys? RedWolfVion here. You know what time it is. We got another suit overview video. Today's video is starring yours truly, Ez8 weapons rack. So this is a support starting at 350, based off the Ez8 Gundam. Of course, all intents and purposes, we'll start with the arsenal. The main weapon, you can select either the 180 millimeter cannon or the missile launcher. For every intents and purposes, you guys know that's my favorite saying. We're gonna roll with the cannon for this video, particularly. Your melee weapon, the beam saber, enhanced prototype. Your sub weapons, the head and chest Vulcan, very nice. You have not one, not two, but three actual sub weapons. You have the ground type beam rifle, which it can focus, as well as a 100 millimeter machine gun here. Jumping to the skills, you have high performance radar, high performance scope, observational data link, which is amazing, personal radar, which I love for people trying to be sneaky, and you have, of course, a good old level 2 leg shot absorber, as well as shield tackle. And so the more damage, well, you deal more damage with your shield if you tackle someone. And the leg shock absorber is actually kind of dope, even though you won't be landing or jumping with this suit as much. You'll be moving a little bit. If you looking off to the side, you can already tell this suit is pretty slow. So that's one thing to keep in mind. This is one of the slower of the suits, especially at 350 versus something like a sniper, a GM sniper custom, and so on. Be very, very mindful of that, because you will find yourself alone if you're not keeping up with the team, or if you're not perched up somewhere safe. So be very, very, very careful on that. Building it, there's a couple of ways you can go about it. One build in particular, you can do more of all around the world, more offensive, a little more mobility. You can start with some ranged attack. You can go in for just a little bit of mobility, speed, and thruster gauge here. So you do range attack, reload, thruster gauge, speed, and you can throw in the precision focusing ring. It'll give you like 0.3 seconds, but I just threw that in there versus something else for this particular build in the video, where you can actually just swap it out and just give you something more for your shields. But that's just one way you can build it. Another way I actually like to build it, I prefer to have this a more tanky support suit. So you see here I have anti-melee and anti-beam armor here. Now you would ask, where's my anti-ballistic? Well, you can always pick and choose your battles. You can always swap over between ballistic and beam, so keep that in mind. I have a little bit of shield reinforcement, and I have a lot more thruster control, because again, this suit is slow and the thruster gauge is pretty terrible. And I have the enhanced melee program here just to kind of fit the slot in here, because it's a little bit hard to fit that slot in my my judgment here is, if it fits, hey, let it work. Mind you, you could probably replace these two items for something else all too completely, the shield reinforcement and enhanced melee program, because you're going to be doing nothing but ranged, unless you go have this for tackle and defense capabilities. But this is just off thinking. The main thing I say here is anti-melee, anti-beam, thruster control, or anti-ballistic. It's up to you again. So keep that in mind. And a lot of people build their stuff differently. I just feel as if I'm going to be tanky, I want to have a little more thruster, just a little bit more shielding, and more anti-melee, because running in with my allies, should I decide to do that match, I want to be able to survive a little bit more when I get cleaved or tackled. The beam, it's up in the air. A lot of suits use ballistic and beams around this 350 level, but going up it changes and varies, so that's on your judgment right there. Also, the ground type shield is medium sized with 3k HP. Well, plus 500, because I have this awesome part. Alright, jumping into combat, we're starting off with the main weapon as usual. Here you have your 100 millimeter cannon, and it's amazing. I love this thing. You can tell even before I even shoot, the suit is very, very slow. Thruster gauge is really bad, so again, keep in mind in that that is probably be your biggest weakness. If you're caught by a radar by yourself, if you can't defend yourself properly, you're done. Alright, so you see, you hit him with your cannon, you hit a nice stagger. Up next you have your beam saber. Now, what I do like about this beam saber, so to speak, is the fact that it still keeps the base Ez8's attacks. So that means your lunge, your down slash is actually a lunge, and it is glorious. It is beautiful. So make sure you utilize that. You have your Vulcan, which is actually pretty satisfying at 350. You definitely don't use the Vulcan as much, but as you can see, it does do its fair share. When it comes to your beam rifle, it being a sub weapon, it means it doesn't do as well as a main beam rifle does. It takes a long time to focus fire, as you see here, but of course, like all other beam rifles focus fire, you hit them, you get a stagger. So it's very nice to kind of lead with that in some cases, or you can just shoot rapidly and exhaust your beam rifle. But keep in mind, you have a lot of weapons, so you'll be swapping quite often. Up next, the 100mm machine gun, which I absolutely love this weapon, especially if you go for the legs. You know, these guns, you get about 30 clips in, you'll start to see a lot of damage here. In some cases you will flinch. However, in this case, this is a very good defensive mechanism as well as a close range. So should you decide to take the missile launchers, you probably want to use the missile launchers and the machine gun a lot more than you would want to use the beam rifle, as well as your Vulcans, because you can move with that and it does a nice amount of damage. Again, keep in mind, guys, that this suit is awesome, is very powerful in terms of his capability and its kit, but it does suffer from terrible speed, terrible boosting, and everything of the sort. So you're going to have to make a decision very quickly. If your teammates aren't babysitting you, you're going to have to decide if you're going to stick with them or if you're going to camp up. Now, if you camp up somewhere, that's totally fine. You have to be very, 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 very careful. And again, I say very careful when you have enemies coming your way, because you're slow, you won't be able to escape, but you may be able to defend yourself with the proper tools. Now, I will say again, when it comes to comboing with this suit, you definitely don't want to worry about that too much, but fun things here. Should you start with the beam rifle charged, you should have enough time, switch to your cannon, hit them with that, and then if they're close, you can go in with your down swipe, and it does a nice amount of damage on generals. After your down swipe, I strongly suggest switching to your machine gun to do some ground damage while they're on the ground. That way you can kind of move around and still do some damage and still be alive. I personally don't use the Vulcans as much because it's just, you already have 4 weapons you want to cycle through. That being your cannon and your 2 side guns, and then your beam saber if they're close. Now, some people don't like doing the beam saber stuff at all, so if that's on you, whatever. But my suggestion is play very smart. You have to be patient with this suit. Let people come to you or let them just do their own thing. But you're literally playing a turtle, a snapping turtle, if I must say. But I really, really, really like this suit. You guys have probably seen a lot of gameplay of me doing this, so do me a favor, check out those videos and tell me what you think. But I want to keep this kind of short and sweet this time, guys. I love you to death. Thank you for checking this video out. If I forgot something, let me know. If I missed something, let your boy know. If I was incorrect about something, hey, let me know. But I do this so you guys get an idea of how awesome this suit is, and this suit is very awesome. Please try it. It is a great segment from moving from general to support. You will get used to some of the pros and cons of being support really quickly early on rather than learning it later. So I want to say have a great day, and I'll see you next time. Peace.